感谢原任财政部长东姑扎夫鲁登姑扎夫阿吉斯接受 City Plus 采访。马来西亚第三季度 GDP 录得双位数的增长了。那么，作为原任财政部长，你认为新政府应该关注哪些重点和领域，以确保 GDP 继续保持正面的增长呢？
The fact that the economy recorded good growth of 14.2% in the third quarter of 2022, this is a source of pride and satisfaction for me, and I'm sure also for my MOF colleagues. So with these numbers, we are confident 2022 GDP will exceed our 6.5 to 7% forecast. Our economy has grown for 4 consecutive quarters. So overall, the GDP grew by 9.3% for the first 9 months of this year. It's the highest 9 months growth since the year 2000, more than 2 decades ago. So all these and many other economic data are validation of our policies, particularly during the pandemic years. For next year, our economy is expected to normalize between 4 to 5%, and mainly due to global challenges. So, but despite lower than 2022, this is still in line with our average pre-pandemic GDP growth, which is 4.9%. This is what the growth between 2015 to 2019. And factors that will drive growth, firstly, increased domestic private spending. And this is supported by greater economic and social activities, including tourism-related activities and further improvement in the labour market. So this also means better employment prospects, as well as sustained consumer and business confidence. Secondly, major infrastructure projects, we have the ECRL, we have the Pan-Borneo Highway, the MRT3. So all this will further support the economic growth momentum as they sustain jobs. Thirdly, in terms of private investment, so higher capital spending, especially in tech-based manufacturing and digital-based services, sectors like E&E and aerospace will also promote jobs growth. But what is most important is to achieve growth that will create jobs for our people, not just growth for the sake of growth. So growth must also generate higher wages that is matched by better productivity.
好的，民众十分关注国内通胀的情况，您对我国的通胀预期有什么看法？登姑，你认为新政府应该实施什么政策来应对？
I want to stress that the government has been very proactive in controlling and cushioning the impact of inflation on the rakyat this year through our 77.7 billion ringgit of subsidies. And if you look at Malaysia's inflation for the whole year is anticipated to be around 3.3%. Inflation in Malaysia was at 4.7% in August this year and declined to 4.5% in September. So this is lower than various advanced and regional countries such as the UK, the US, Thailand, Singapore, and the Philippines. But we must also understand that we are a small and open economy. So domestic inflation will be impacted by global factors such as global supply chain disruptions, and this is obviously due to the war in Ukraine, global labor shortages, which have affected supply of goods, as well as the China's strict COVID-19 policy. So all this will lead to inflationary pressures on domestic inflation. But most importantly, what can we do about this? We need to again ensure that we cushion and control the impact of inflation on the rakyat. And we have allocated 55 billion ringgit through budget 2023 to support the rakyat.
经济学家指出，我国长期处于这个中等收入陷阱的经济结构性问题。你认为新政府应该如何通过2023年预算案来改善 M40 劳动力市场和人民的平均收入呢？
Budget 2023 remains responsive to all segments. This, of course, includes the M40 households. So firstly, there was a 2% tax cut for taxable income of between 50,000 ringgit to 100,000 ringgit, and this will benefit approximately 1 million taxpayers. So for those earning 250,000 to 400,000 ringgit, this range will be combined with the 400,000 to 600,000 ringgit range and subject to a tax rate of 25%. So with this special income tax treatment, the M40 tax savings are up to 1,000 ringgit. So this means that an estimated 800 million ringgit is available as surplus income to be spent by the people. Yeah. So we also propose the e-Pemula initiative. This e-Pemula initiative is also for M40. It's an e-wallet that will be credited amounting to 100 ringgit for M40 individuals who earns less than 100,000 ringgit. So roughly about 8 million individuals are eligible to claim this e-wallet credit. Yeah? And allocation for this is around 800 million ringgit. So looking ahead, in terms of reform, I'd like to share that since March 2020, I've always stressed on the reform agenda. So reforms are the only sure way to address the structural issues, raise wages, and ensuring a better quality of life for our people. So the first step towards this is what PN, Barisan Nasional, has proposed in its manifesto called PADU, where we have proposed the assisted basic income of 2,208 ringgit for all working Malaysians, and also the 2% tax reduction for M40 for income between 50,000 to 100,000 ringgit. So for Malaysia to fulfill its full potential, reforms are needed in areas such as sustainable development, digital inclusion, and modernizing and reforming institutions. So if we do all this consistently, despite the pandemic setback from 2020 to 2021, Malaysia is likely to make the transition from an upper middle income economy to a high income economy within the next 5 years. Yeah?
明白。那么你能不能跟听众朋友分享目前你的竞选活动进展的如何？在倒数几天的竞选期中，你会使用哪些竞选策略呢？
What's key is firstly the purity of intention and the genuine concern for the people, as well as our willingness and ability to help them. So during my time as finance minister, I was quite used to listening and understanding grassroots issues through hundreds of Turun Padang sessions, right? So in Kuala Selangor, I've gone down to the ground more than 200 times in the past 6 months. So what the Kuala Selangor people need are solutions to their basic day-to-day problems affecting their quality of life. And we have identified roughly 50 of them. Issues such as unsafe roads, issues such as dark roads, due to absence of street lights, obviously, local government services, poor infrastructure, employment, and the like. In the last few days of the campaign, I will continue to go down to the ground. I want to meet the people of Kuala Selangor. I want to let them know that my first priority is to listen, understand, and resolve their issues.
根据登姑你的观察，瓜拉雪兰莪的华人社区对您的支持率是如何的呢？据了解，国政安排你出战这个选区，是因为你在经济管理上有交出这个亮眼的表现。你认为这部分会有助于获得华人的选票吗？
So far, the Chinese community here in Kuala Selangor have welcomed me with open arms. We have had many engagements from the youth to the parents, older folks, and even the entrepreneurs here. So they have shared all their issues, such as infrastructure, business opportunities. Those that I can solve immediately, I have done so. But my key message to the Chinese voters in Kuala Selangor is this. Just analyze my track record as finance minister. I have been pro-business and pro-investment. And this is what I can also offer if I'm elected as the Member of Parliament for Kuala Selangor. So you can also see this intention in the business-related measures in my manifesto, which is available at my website, which is www.tzabersamaks.com.
明白。瓜拉雪兰莪拥有丰富天然资源和文化特色来推动，你会如何利用这些资源来推动瓜拉雪兰莪的旅游业？能不能跟我们分享你有哪些计划和愿景呢？
Kuala Selangor is rich in natural resources, with many natural attractions and cultural aspects, from the historic sites at Bukit Melawati to the spectacular glowing fireflies at Sungai Kuantan. So it is really pretty close to KL to attract international tourists. So I plan to make Kuala Selangor as a pusat pelancongan kampung tradisi by assisting the local SMEs in tourism sector here to collaborate with private sector. So this includes the Sungai Pekan Selangor, which is a popular tourism spot, and working on getting international recognition for the fireflies at Kampung Kuantan.
除了旅游业，登姑你有哪些针对瓜拉雪兰莪的长期发展计划？
I want to improve the physical infrastructure of Kuala Selangor now, because this will also support its business, livability, and tourism attractiveness in the long term. I'm planning to implement a road task force, particularly to ensure that traffic congestion issues and insufficient public transport service are addressed. So during my time as finance minister, we also approved for the ECRL to serve the folks of Kuala Selangor. Essentially, there are 4 thrusts to my plans for Kuala Selangor. 1 on infrastructure and public transport, 2 on improved welfare and quality of life, 3 on jobs and businesses, and 4 on education and skills upgrading. There are roughly 50 initiatives that I will be working on as soon as I'm elected. I also want to create a service centre for each DUN, or State Legislative Assembly. The constituents can also connect with me virtually. So the people of Kuala Selangor deserve better, and they can judge me by my track record as Minister of Finance to see how I can also help improve their lives and livelihoods.
好的，了解，谢谢东姑的分享，我们就聊到这里，谢谢你接受今天的采访。